UC Irvine. He has worked both inside and outside academia, and his work translates research in a way that is useful to policymakers. He is now the director of the Economic Self-Sufficiency Policy Research Institute at UC Irvine. And the goal of ESPRI is to support and disseminate research in social and economic policy. As part of this effort, UCCS and ESPRI co-sponsored 2 talks this year, and today is the second of those 2 talks. Professor Newmark is here today and will introduce Professor Kristen Turney from UC Irvine. Please join me in welcoming Professor David Newmark.
Thanks. Is this on? You said everything I have to say because I'm here to introduce Professor Kristen Turney from UC Irvine. That's about it, but I'll just tell you a little bit. Kristen is an associate professor in the Department of Sociology, has a really interesting research agenda for anyone interested, well, other things, but what we're talking about today, incarceration and criminal justice, focusing in large part on effects of involvement with the system on family life, and in particular the well-being of children. The talk today, I think, is going to focus to some extent on the effects of mass incarceration, obviously a very timely policy issue. This fits in the context of what ESPRI is doing. We are focused, very broadly speaking, on public policies that impact economic self-sufficiency, which is a very vague term that we probably never will define exactly, but that's okay. But it's pretty clear that when we think about economic self-sufficiency and long-term effects, we also think about intergenerational effects. So impacts of policies on children are part of what we do. Some of those are more economic policies. For those of you who focus on the earned income tax credit, for example, there's a burgeoning research now, not just on sort of the short-term effects on women, do they work more, the age-old questions, but what happens to kids who grow up in families with more income, and what do their health and education and economic outcomes look like. So this is kind of another dimension of that, focusing on incarceration. I'm very grateful to UCCS for co-sponsoring these presentations with us. This is our second this year. We're working on at least 2 for next year, and we hope to do more. So I give you Kristen Turney.
All right, thanks, David. Thanks so much for the invitation to be here, and thanks for coming to the talk today. I'm going to talk about some ongoing research that I have going on related to incarceration and family life. So it's well known that the American incarceration rate has increased dramatically since the mid-1970s. This graph shows that in 1970,